to Prince Charles's regiments and clans, but the government memorials stood bare. The deaths of the victors seemingly count for little this far north. Walking back from the government lines to the rebel positions, I was suddenly startled by a flash of red away to my left. A reenactor, a ghostly redcoat, or a tartan-clad warrior. The color was so at odds with the surrounding hues of brown and green on the ground, it gave an impression of what the spectacle of battle must have looked like all those years ago. The mystery figure closed on me, and the color solidified into nothing more than the padded red jacket of a late evening stroller. As I reached the rebel lines, another flash of red caught my eye. This time it was a jogger who flanked me on the right, quietly pacing the nearby road which cuts through the moor. At length, I found a location to take my photograph, and whilst lying prostrate in a muddy bog, I heard a voice. "I'll not ask what you are doing." I got up, smiling dumbly, to explain my prone posture. An elderly gentleman stood before me. I learned that his name was Jimmy. He turned out to be the groundsman for the battlefield, and had been so for 25 years. After a brief conversation, he invited me back to his caravan to view some genuine basket-hilted broadswords which, he said, may just have been used at Culloden. Once there, he introduced me to his friend Sue, who lived close by. She was the local post lady of 10 years' service, and of German origin. It was she who had the collection of circa 18th century swords and a collection of targets, small clansmen's shields, which she had made herself. In the confines of Jimmy's caravan, a selection of weapons were duly produced and brought alarmingly back to animation. Swords, targets, and dirks were displayed and demonstrated, before the crowning piece of the collection was almost drum-rolled out, a genuine flintlock musket, which Sue claimed was certainly in use at the battle. Having demonstrated its use, she handed over the magnificent weapon and invited me to pull the trigger. I assumed a kneeling position and aimed well away from anyone present. Being assured there was no lead ball in the barrel, I squeezed the trigger. Flying sparks erupted from the flint hammer. Disappointingly, no musket ball issued forth, but still it was impressive. A keen reenactor, Sue told me she often frequented the battlefield alone. In her early days living by the moor, she was a confirmed unbeliever in anything supernatural. But now, having heard so many stories and having felt so many atmospheres on the field, she was no longer a stranger to the paranormal, although she refused to elaborate. Jimmy the groundsman backed up this view with tales of having his hat knocked off whilst walking